Hi everyone, today we're talking about October earnings season dates, and I'm going to show you a calendar for the earnings that are going to happen in October. Now, the earnings that I'm about to show you are the confirmed dates. There's going to be a few more companies that do pop up and earn on these dates. These are just the confirmed dates. So, for example, the rumour is that Tesla are going to report earnings on the 23rd of October, but because they haven't confirmed that yet, it's not been shown on the calendar. And if you want more information on the calendar, guys, Earnings Whisper is where they do all these calendars, and you can go follow them on Twitter and you'll get all these sort of calendars. So they're really helpful, guys. But I thought I'd talk about it and kind of express my opinions on some of these companies that are going to be reporting their earnings through October. And, I love earnings season because it's the time where we kind of have some stocks that we're holding shoot up and we make some money. We could sell for some stocks for some profit. At the same time, some opportunities happen where stocks go down, and it lets us get into some stocks at discounted prices. So earnings season is definitely my favourite time for being a stock market investor and seeing some big moves made in the market. So I'm going to show you the calendar now, guys, and I'll talk about some of the stocks that are coming up. I'm going to start on the 15th of October, and as always, it's the banks reporting first. And I always like seeing what the banks do because the banks kind of set the tone for the market and we kind of see how everything's going on. Normally, it's always a good sign if we start seeing the banks actually beating their earnings forecast, so that's always good. You've got the big ones, like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and then we actually have one of my stocks reporting on the Tuesday, which is Johnson & Johnson. The 16th, we've got Netflix, which is actually the biggest mover in the S&P 500 on earnings date, and that's always a great stock to be watching. I think Netflix had a horrible quarter last time, so it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back. Bank of America, another stock. United Rentals as well, which is a stock that I've talked about on this channel a fair bit. That's reporting on the 16th. So it's one that I track very heavy because I keep oohing and ahhing about getting into that stock. So hopefully it goes down so I can get into it. 17th, a couple of banks. Honeywell's always an interesting one. Philip Morris, always interesting because of my investment in Altria. 18th, we've got a classic Coca-Cola reporting. That's probably one that I'm watching on that day. 21st, there's not many stocks that I'm kind of interested in. I know a few people will be watching Ameritrade. 22nd, Snap always moves, doesn't it? McDonald's is also one that I kind of always hope that pulls back, but it never does. iRobot is a stock that actually a subscriber said to me, what do you think of that stock? And I was like, I think it's still a little bit expensive for me. And that stock's come down a little bit more now. So I'm like looking at iRobot and I'm like, that iRobot's been hurt massively because of the China trade war. So I'm kind of expecting them to go down, but we'll see what happens. 23rd, Boeing. That'll be interesting to see how they have doing because of the MAX 8 crashes. I'm sure that stock should be cheaper than what it is right now. 24th, we've got Twitter that always moves quite a bit on earnings. These are one of my stocks. 3M, a company that people ask me about, and I've always said that I think it needs to be a little bit cheaper for me to get into, but I can understand why people have got into that stock right now. Verizon, that's one I know a few people track. I personally don't track a lot of them stocks. 28th, Walgreens, one of my stocks. Spotify is always one that I do check out. I don't think I'll ever buy it, but I always check what goes on. 29th is MasterCard, EA. That'll be two pretty big ones that I watch on that one. 30th, one of my big stocks, we've got Facebook. Also, we've got Apple, which is also one that I definitely do watch. Even though I don't own shares in it, I have done beforehand, and the whole market does tend to move on them Apple earnings. 31st, we've got Altria, one of my stocks. Pinterest, which I think has been doing really well recently. And then we do have a few dates in November. Potentially no stocks that I'm watching on the 1st. 4th, same again, there's not really too many stocks that I'm potentially watching that much. The 5th, same again. No big stocks for me that really on that day. I've been watching Square quite a bit. Starting to drop down to a little bit more attractive prices. So hopefully that one goes down and might make an opportunity to buy. CVS Health, be interesting to watch what they do. 7th, Walt Disney, Activision, two big companies right there. And on the 8th, not really kind of any companies that I'm kind of interested in watching right there. But like I say, guys, going forward, there'll be some more earnings added to this, like Tesla will be on there at some point, and that probably go on the 23rd, and there's a few more other companies as well. So definitely this week is kind of like the banking stock week. And then when we get to the 21st and 28th, them 2 weeks are definitely going to be the big ones for us, where there'll be a lot of intense earnings, and I'll probably be making a lot of videos about the earnings on them 2 weeks for sure. So guys, I hope that helped you with some important dates for you as a stock market investor. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped you as a stock market investor. So if you could give the video a like, that'd be amazing. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you on the next video.